Day 40 of my 40-day spring detox. I did it all the way to the end. Today I'm going to talk about kind of like what I experienced week to week, and at the end I'll share what I got out of this experience. So thank you for joining me. My name is Marise Tourigny, and I decided to undergo a 40-day spring detox. I had never done it before. And I always love a good challenge. So I started on March 5th, which was the first day of Lent. It was Ash Wednesday. And that's how I got inspired. It was a little post that I saw on Facebook. It was talking about Lent and Ash Wednesday. And I thought, I grew up Catholic, but I never practiced this. I thought that it was, the fasting was over 40 days. So, and then I was corrected by a friend saying, no, it's only Ash Wednesday and Good Friday. But because I had in my mind that I was going to do 40 days, I just went ahead and did it. Because March is a great month to do some kind of spring cleaning for the body. I read over my journals and I took notes as to what was I experiencing week to week. And when I started, because it was inspired and it happened really quickly, the first week in my journal entries, I was really lost and confused, because this was taking up a lot of my time, and how was I going to focus on my other work? And I didn't know how things were going to come together. So when I first started, I was committed, but I wasn't sure how everything was going to come together. I felt it was in conflict with other ideas that I had, but I trusted. Because I was inspired to do this, I trusted in my inspiration. On the second week, I could really feel my body starting to change. I can feel like a sensation on my face, on my body. My head felt like hurt a little bit. My brain was hurting. And I could also feel in my anus and vagina some sensations. So I knew at that point that my whole body chemistry was changing, and that lasted a couple of days, a few days, and it passed. So at the end of week 2, starting week 3, there was one day where I felt I just wanted, it was a moment. It probably lasted 15 minutes where I wanted to quit. It's like, not quit, but I was fed up. I wanted it to end. And I made my meal and it passed. As soon as I ate, I was okay. So I remember that one day. That was at the beginning of week 3. And then starting week 4, right in that period, we went through a lot. We went through the spring equinox and the new moon. And whatever that combination was, wow, I felt inspired, aligned. Things were like, there was an excitement that overcame me. And I created a whole program where I was inspired by this 40 days. And I created a whole program that I'll share with you. In May 5th, I'm going to do a 5-day challenge, which I call the 360 Detox, meaning that it's a holistic, including the body, mind, emotions, and the spirit, and things that we can think about to detoxify. And that's a 5-day event that's coming in May, and it's free, and I'll put the link down below. So during this time of the spring equinox and the new moon, all of that was coming, and it was like I was so inspired how quickly things were coming. And in one day I had created all the graphics and everything. So it's like, wow, it was meant to be. On week 5, I was pretty much in the beat. I was doing my things consistently. To me, it felt that this was manageable and doable, and I really wanted to up the challenge. So it's in week 6 that I switched to 3 days only juice, and that really affected me. I felt a lot more tired. I was taking naps, and I had an aversion to my computer. I could not sit in front of my computer to work during this time. And then I did 3 days of water. Now, I have done water in the past, but this time, probably because there's a lot of time had lapsed. Those 3 water days were really difficult. I had stomach pain. My stomach was growling. I was tired and not motivated, and I just didn't know what to do with myself. So those 3 days were very difficult. And what I was realizing is that everything is an extension of me, and that I am in relationship with everything, in relationship with myself, in relationship with my food, in relationship to other, in relationship to everything in my home. So it's this concept, the concept of relationship was big. And I don't know how I can explain this in words, but it's even the relationship with myself, how I relate to myself. And on day 40, I was in a spiritual circle where we were doing some singing, and we were 25 people, and I was the only one crying. I felt so touched and moved. I realized how much I had gone deep into my heart and felt really moved by everyone. And when I reflect on why was I so emotional? Like, I plowed through these 40 days like a warrior. I kept picking the Emperor card in the tarot. So I was very rigid, I was very strict with myself, and the boundaries really created the framework for me to be successful, to get to the end. Yeah, I had sensations physically and I had to deal with, but I had a structure, and I always came back on that structure to carry me through. But at the end, I really had to think about, what is this emotion? And the first thing that my mind went to is, what else do I need to do? There's something missing. And in reality is, no, there's nothing to do. All there is being. So what's left is just being, integrating all of this beauty. And the last thing I'll say is, from the statistics perspective, I did drop 17 pounds. So that was a bit of a surprise, because my weight was at a plateau for years and I couldn't shift it, and this completely shifted. So I'm 17 pounds lighter, and I'm fitting in some old clothes, which I'm so grateful for. And so it's a wonderful experience, not only a physical transformation, but really deepening into my truth and opening my heart. So I am going to take this to the next level. And if you want to join me on May 5th at 5 p.m., It's going to be a 5-day challenge, a 360 detox, looking at what is draining our energy that we can incorporate nourishment at the physical level. So it's to stop the drains, the energy drains, and to what can we do to amplify, to elevate our vitality, our frequency as we move forward in this extraordinary year of 2025, where everything's changing and we become more of who we are meant to be, more of ourselves. So I'll put the link below. This has been an extraordinary journey. Thanks for joining me on this, and stay tuned. I have other things that are coming up. So one little tidbit is in June, I'm going to be doing another 40-day, but this time it's going to be a pilgrimage in Spain. So perhaps I'll document that and share with you my other 40-day journey as I walk across Spain. So thank you so much, and be well.